Closing is always easy when you're in Cardone U. We role play with Grant Cardone's team. They know just what to do. They're always there to support us. We couldn't ask for more. On our way in the right direction, we found what we're looking for. In FLC, in FLC. Closing is better with appointment setters. You'd better believe we're not a team but a family. We work together in harmony. We are devoted, on that you can quote me, in FLC.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the FLC Hangout, where your freedom lifestyle begins. And today we have Christine in the house. I'm so excited. Hello, I'm so excited you're here. Christine is a very good friend to the FLC core family, and she knows so much and is very experienced in what she does. So I'm so excited to kind of pick your brains and hang out and chat with you more. So before we get started, make sure to follow us all on Instagram. They are on the screens now and in the descriptions below. Without further ado, Misty, over to you.
Awesome. Hi, Christine. I know you had mentioned we haven't been able to meet yet, and I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Would you, before we go into the questions that we have for you, would you mind giving us just a little rundown of who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so hello everyone. I am in Los Angeles right now. I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, California, and I am an architect here, but I also am a intuition and manifestation coach.
Awesome. Wow. That's a big range there, isn't it? Wow, that's incredible. So how difficult was it for you to leave your job as an architect to start your own business, your own tarot reading?
Well, the difficult part was when like the 3 or 4 years of trying to start something that wasn't really in architecture. I love architecture, but doing the type of work that I do, it's 250 to 1 million thousand square feet, 1 million square feet. So it takes years to finish a project, and I'm like, is this? And it's just like in and out, and I'm like, is this life now? So I was always trying to start something on the side, but didn't know how to manifest. I wasn't following my intuition. I was trying, I was pushing, and then when I stopped trying, the one thing that was so easy for me to do was tarot. It's like the times when you're not trying so hard, so I was just playing around with it. And so jumping ship was the finally doing it was scary because it was something that wasn't practical. But I think it was the time when I was in the suffering mindset of like, what am I doing? The anxiety of like, what am I doing with my life? That one was the hard part.
I totally understand that. Yeah.
Definitely. And it's, I know with like talking to you in the past, it's you're an energy person. You feel you feel other people's energy easily. And I know that you said like in the job it was quite a stressful environment, and even though like you loved it, it's the energy that's kind of like it really does affect. And not just someone who's like easily affected by energy, affects everyone. Even if you aren't into all this like woo-woo stuff we talk about, it does affect you. So I want to ask, what's kind of a tip that or advice you'd give to someone who is kind of stuck in that place and they know they're destined for more or different, but they're kind of struggling to or scared to take that first step and leave that?
Yeah. I know everyone's path is different, where if I learned how to manifest consciously before I left the workplace, like the 2 years of trying to start something without a comfort zone would have been a lot easier. But everyone's path is different. Like I feel like I was supposed to not learn how to consciously manifest and then have all these like weird things happen and try to figure it out. But my thing would be to learn how to consciously manifest, and then what that entails, and have fun with it. And I'm learning how to use, or learning how I could have used my full-time 9 to 5 job to practice manifestation. Like, it's a playground, like all the little things that you can manifest within that safe environment is actually really fun. And so I just do it for fun now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
I do. I know. Sorry, Missy. I know you have another
No,
question,
go
but
ahead.
it's funny because I saw this video on, it was probably TikTok once, and I can't actually remember. It was a while ago, and it was like, just think of something really random you want to see. And I was like, okay, I want to see like a yellow balloon with like a smiley face on it, like just that. And I forgot about it, like I completely forgot about it. And then the next day I was like scrolling on Instagram, I saw a picture of a yellow balloon with a smiley face on it, and I was like, that seems like, why does that familiar to me? And then I remembered, and I was like, oh my God, like it's that easy, like I'm that powerful that I can like just do
Mhm.
that. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know you and Misty are pretty powerful manifestors. So it's fun to, when you're that much of a powerful manifester, like manifesting small things like balloons. And like one day I wanted a certain type of candy, but I didn't want to go to the grocery store. And then someone put it on my table. And I'm like, this is fun.
Oh
Life is
my,
fun.
oh my
It's
God.
nice, isn't it?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I bet, do you guys ever do things like that, like to manifest just for fun and showing the universe like, oh, I'm just being playful. I just want to have fun right now and see all the small joys you can bring.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
do.
Misty, go ahead. What
Yeah,
do you?
I do. I'm a caretaker. I'm a caregiver. So when I'm at my client's house, she likes to go outside and have a cigarette. And I'm just the type of person that I'm not going to stay in somebody else's home when they're not there. So I will follow her outside. That, and because she needs to be able to have, I mean, she can walk and everything on her own, but watching her do it, she doesn't always seem very stable. So I kind of go with her. But I will sit there and think, okay, I want to see a feather. I just said, because sometimes I get stuck on the spiritual significance of a feather, and I'm just like, I want to see a feather. And I go outside, and there's all these little feathers from seagulls all over the place. And I'm like, okay, so what's the significance of this color or this color? Or is there, so it's like, I'll just do weird stuff like that. So yeah, I do it
Yeah,
for fun. It's
it's
awesome.
it's so fun because like you just
Awesome.
start getting your own way. And I know we're going kind of like on this story time tangent, but even so we do this training, and every day there's like 200 people on this Zoom, and you have to raise your hand to ask a question, and you have to get in there really early to raise your hand, otherwise, because they go in order most of the time. And sometimes I'll be kind of late and I'll raise my hand later, and I'll just keep thinking like, they're going to pick me, they're going to pick me. And it's not like you don't have to do anything wild. You don't have to sit there and meditate for like 10 minutes for it. Just be so, believe yourself so hard that they are going to pick you next. They are going to pick me next, even though I'm like way down the line. And like sometimes they do. And I'm like, huh. Like, and I still get surprised, even though I know how it
Yeah.
works.
Like
But
I already knew this.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I know I'm this powerful, but like that's kind of nice.
I
Yeah.
end up, you have to be careful because I end up setting myself up every time. Every morning we go, because we have our team meetings every morning, and I'm like, don't pick me, don't pick me. Oh my God, they're gonna say my name. And they do. And it's like, and it's if it's not either on the team meeting, that it's on our coaching calls. And I'm like, everybody's like, okay, on the sales rally, you need to raise your hand and do this and do that. I'm like, no, they're gonna pick me. You
Yeah,
have to really watch.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. You want to get outside your comfort zone and do those things, but you want to watch what you're thinking, because when you can manifest so easily, you don't want to manifest the wrong things.
Yes.
So it's like, and I'm not saying that being picked for something is wrong, because it's not. You really need to do that, especially if it's something you don't want to do. You
Mhm.
really need to do that. It's everything telling you, hey, you have a lot of resistance to this. Let's make my cold calls. I know I'm going off on the thing, but doing our
yeah,
cold calls, I'm having a really, really, really hard time. And I'm even in tears doing cold calls. And I was talking to Chubaria about it, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why. I'm the queen of cold calls. I can do the freaking cold calls. But I'm having a hard time doing it. And because every time I dial, I'm like, don't answer, don't answer, don't answer. And they don't. Or I'll be set up booking a demo, and I'll be like, don't show up, don't show up, don't show up. And they don't. And it's like, okay, you gotta stop doing that. Quit,
Yeah.
quit doing manifesting it for the wrong. You need to be putting yourself out there to do get outside your comfort zone for that growth. But yeah, you have to really be careful what you're thinking, because you can manifest the wrong things.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And kind of speaking of like manifesting and being that powerful, what kind of tips or advice or like an exercise you would give to someone watching who actually wants to strengthen their intuition and strengthen their manifesting powers? Is there anything, like someone who is so new to it and doesn't even like know where to start,
Yeah.
how would they go about it?
Oh my gosh. I know no one has ever asked me the question of like where to start manifesting. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I feel for me, scripting is a really big way that I like to manifest. For example, this morning I send a little script to a friend of mine every morning. I started doing it this week, and now it's like it's not an expectation now. Like, where's my script this morning? But the one that I sent today was about fun, and I kept on. I typed it and I sent it out, and then when I was reading it, I'm like, oh, I don't think I believe this fully yet. So I kept on reading it because it was for them. But then usually when I write something for somebody else, I start feeling the good vibes and sensations and the energy of it. But then this one I was just like, oh, I'm not feeling this one. Maybe I should like reread it constantly. So for me, it's to really write down what you really are desiring to manifest, whether you're focused and not doesn't have to be so big. Like mine was just like, we're gonna have fun every day. That's our new code. And to just read it and continue to read it until like you actually believe it's happening like right now. And that's like little micro manifestations. We don't always have to like quantum leap every single time, which is what I think is what I'm used to hearing in like the FLC community and like the communities that we're all accustomed to being in, and like everyone's leaping everywhere. And I'm like, we could just make little shifts sometimes, because the little shifts is actually telling your mind like this is possible. So for the same thing with intuition, I started with tarot, and I don't always like a lot of people are interested in like watching online tarot, which is what I do. But I remember on my intuition course, the first thing I do on the first video, I'm like, okay, unsubscribe from me now. Because intuition is good because or learning how to read tarot and using your psychic abilities is good to see how accurate you are, and you're programming your mind to be like how limitless you are. And but when you mix it with manifestation, it's just like you don't need to know the future because you could rewrite it all this every single time. So it's just like practicing small ways of manifestation. Don't get attached to like bigger things that you see people like manifesting these huge things. It's okay if you're not there, because little things like we talked about right now is like it's actually really fun to get like balloons and feathers. It's like you could start there and it's actually really enjoyable. And I always still feel the same amount of gratitude for the little piece of chocolate that came on my table, or like manifesting huge abundance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And I think that's also a really good way to kind of build your confidence in like the like manifesting itself and yourself, that you can do it. Start small. Because if you go for and it's with anything really, if you go for the big thing, and always, yes, have big goals, dream big, but don't get upset or discouraged when that doesn't happen, because it might take some time. And I do actually have another question too, but a side question before I get there, because it's a slightly different topic, is can you improve your intuition with like practice, or is that something you're kind of born with, so to say.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we
Mhm.
definitely could
Mm.
strengthen it. It's very similar to like manifestation when every time is whether or not it's already here, like physically, you always practice gratitude. So every time my students they're doing a reading and it's super accurate to the point where like I have to mute myself because I'm laughing hysterically because sometimes they start embodying the person's energy and their characteristics and their personality. I'm like, this is scary. I'm gonna mute myself because I'm freaking out.
Wow.
And then they're like, okay, who's next to read? Or like, is somebody else to is next to read? And I'm like, wait, hold up. You always have to practice gratitude and be aware that you were so accurate because it's actually allowing you to. Now I'm getting like a little bit more. I don't. I'm talking as if I'm talking to students. Like you guys know, but then like other
Yeah, yeah.
people, because you're actually waking up your psychic abilities when your brain is in beta. So like right now, you and all three of us were pretty much in beta frequency, which is not the easiest place to download and get downloads from. But when you're constantly getting it right and practicing gratitude, you're amplifying that the the amount of intuitive downloads that you get. And then couple with all the spiritual practices like detaching and not being attached to the outcome and things like that is very helpful to just quiet the mind, not having any emotions when it comes to intuition. So it's all combined and it all works together hand in hand. But always practicing gratitude for like the little nuances, even the ones that you've had like when you were a kid and you didn't know that you were very intuitive back in the day, or you're manifesting so many things but then you haven't like really practiced gratitude for it, like, oh my god, I can't believe I actually did manifest that, or my intuition was right 10 years ago. It's still good
Yeah.
to just like feel it and be like, wow, I'm so grateful for that.
That's so true. Sorry, Misty. I'm like so excited because actually what you said just now reminded me of when I was younger, like since I can remember, I've always thought to myself and said to other people, like everyone that I've ever actually wanted to be friends with or wanted to connect with, I have. And even before, like I was a kid, I didn't know about manifesting or anything. And I was thinking that and I was like, everyone that I like want to connect with, I have. Like I'm so like good and cool. But like, yeah, so what you said really reminded me of that. And kind of a slightly different topic, but like you said, it all connects. I know when we spoke before on one of our calls in the past,
Mhm.
is you said you were kind of um, struggling, not struggling, but finding it hard to get consistent on social media
Mhm.
and kind of get out there on social media.
Mhm.
Um, so how was that journey for you? Because I know I see you now, like you're posting more. And do you also use kind of like manifestation and intention in that as well? How's that work?
Yeah. It's funny because I realized, for example, when I'm in the office and I'm uh, like designing buildings and I'm drawing, I am so focused on that one thing that I'm not posting like, oh, we should like do a story. I think my script needs to be reframed to like not be a perfectionist. It has
Hmm.
nothing to do with social media now. Because I
Okay.
remember I remember back in the day I would just like post random things all the time. But I feel now I need to tweak. This is actually something I talked about or I thought about a few days ago. I'm like, oh my God, I'm talking to Josie and I still haven't like really posted on. I'm talking to Josie today and I really haven't posted on social media. I wonder if she noticed. And yeah, I think I need to like retweak like what's the real issue. But honestly, I don't even see it as an issue. It's if I push myself, there's a difference between pushing yourself and then um like going where the energy is not going. And um so I need to And I think I have to put a little bit more thought or feeling into it. But the fact that my energy isn't going that way, I don't have to force it. But I did say that if the energy isn't there, I like to manifest the energy first. But every time I manifest the energy of social media, I'm like, okay, we're here. It's here. Let's go. And then it's like, great. And then it kind of dwindles down because then
Yeah.
I'm like manifesting other things at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'm just like not being hard on myself. I'm not chasing it. But I also have to be really particular about my intention. Like, am I being lazy? And I'm like, no, I'm just doing other things. It's okay. It's okay. Everything will happen.
Absolutely.
So that's a journey. It's like kind of in the same spot, but with more acceptance. More
Yeah.
acceptance.
No, I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah. Go
Mhm.
ahead, Misty.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, as far as you posting a lot more, Grant Cardone says post 1,000 videos a day, really bad videos, because over time they will improve and you're
Mhm.
learning something every time. And while you're
Mhm.
doing something else, like you're in the office and doing something else, even a 15-second little, like, look, don't maybe not show your work because you're, or just so like from a distance, hey, I'm at work or something.
Mhm.
And that would help get, your social media out there and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
I did have a question that you had said that you like to script when you're manifesting.
Mhm.
Um, so when you're scripting, is there a certain format that people need to use when they're scripting, or a certain way they need to do it? Are there things that they need to take into consideration
Mhm.
or maybe watch out for or do, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I scripting for me, I'm a out of sight, out of mind type person. I think I told Josie that. So if I'm not saying like, if I don't have the word social media or Instagram or something on my scripts, I will forget it. I'm a goldfish. My calendar is filled with like little, like it doesn't look like it looks like I'm busy, but a lot of it is just like normal things to remind myself of what to do. Um, but the way that I like to script is past or present tense, like it already happened. And I did, when I started doing that in the beginning, it was actually very uncomfortable to do. Like I already have this, and I'm like, oh my God, it actually shows like if it feels, I don't know the word gross or uncomfortable. Like when you say I'm a millionaire, but I'm like, if you put $1 million back in the day, if you put $1 million in front of me in cash, I'd feel so gross and weird and uncomfortable. And
They
so
call it the
writing it in,
imposter syndrome.
yeah, and I didn't know that that was happening at the time. I'm just like, why do I feel so icky?
Yeah.
So writing it in past and present tense is my favorite way of doing it. I don't know if it's a preferred way. I think it's like the way that works the best. And then just for everyday things, I like to write my to-do lists as if it already happened. Like I needed to go to the eye doctor. I already went to the eye doctor. So it's
Yeah,
all
I do that.
always because your brain doesn't know the difference of what is really true and what already exists, not exists, sorry, already happens. That you physically experienced it in this 3D world versus it's just here energetically. And when I learned that, I was just like, okay, that's what's happening in my mind. It's like getting reprogrammed. It's not icky. It's just getting reprogrammed.
Yeah.
Scripting, like I already have this, and I'm grateful that I have this. The grateful part is the one that like reminds you to amplify the emotion of gratitude and actually really feel into it. So definitely scripting. It's yeah, out of sight, out of mind. If I don't see it every day, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
I've
the same way.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've said it before and I'll say it again that we're both very similar. And now that we're all three of us are here, I can tell we're all three of us are very similar.
Nice.
Because yeah, I'm quite similar with Misty, and I've said to you that we're very similar too. And I love what you said about feeling kind of icky and like weird writing
Mm-hmm.
about things that you don't have, because I definitely, when I first started, I write my goals like every morning in present tense. Like I'm so happy and grateful that da, 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 da. And at first I was like, like I was writing it with like this look on my face, and I was like, what, this is so weird. But the only way you're really going to get over that is by doing it consistently.
Mhm.
And just be gentle on yourself, because a lot of the times when I tried, I did that, and I started trying to manifest, and even if we're not talking like woo woo here, with anything I did, it's like I would fail and I would stop. And then I would be like, no, I actually do want to do that. So I'll try again. I'll fail and I'll stop. But because I was so scared of failing, but don't be scared. Seb says fail fast, fail forward, fail often. And it's the only way you are actually going to grow. And you can't expect yourself to get everything right on the first try. And just going quickly back to the social media part as well, and I'll be interested on your guys's thoughts on this as well, is it feels so scary at first to post that video, do that live, like post the reel, and oh, my friends and my family are going to see this, and like this stranger is going to see this, and it's like, yes, and that's why you're doing it. And you said that you were like kind of a perfectionist, and that's what Chibara, actually, when she first started doing everything, she was a perfectionist too, and now look at her, she's like boom 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 out, whatever.
Yeah.
So
I
it
have to treat
really,
everything. Oh, sorry.
yeah, no, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I have to stop treating everything like it's a architecture project, like the
Oh my god, yeah.
aesthetics
Yeah,
and
because you're
I'm like
so
not.
detail oriented. It has to be
Yeah.
perfect, and with the architecture, and
Yeah.
just look at it, do what Josie does. When she's gonna go do her cold calls, she puts on a different persona. She pretends she's somebody else. So you could do that with your architecture. You're like the very perfectionist. You got to have everything perfect.
Yeah.
When you're gonna go to social media, hey, you get to be somebody new and somebody different, right? And
Yeah.
it's not necessarily like you're faking or pretending to be somebody, but it's just another part of you, that a different side that you're letting other people see.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
I.
exactly. No,
But yeah,
exactly, that's
I really need
exactly
to
what I was trying to say.
retweak
Yeah.
the thing. It was a throat chakra at first. Like I needed to open that up. I
Yeah.
just keep on laughing right now because I was just that one conversation with Josie. We had a FLC like call in, and she was so supportive when I'm just like my throat chakra, and it was having obvious concerns. Like I had a what's it called? A throat ache. What's it called?
Yeah.
A sore
Sore
throat.
throat. Yeah, a sore throat. I had a toothache. I was sneezing, and sinuses are part of your throat chakra. And it was all these things all happening at the same time. And I'm like, universe, if you want me to go on social media, you gotta stop this. And then I realized like, oh, yeah, like just posting on social media about it was actually very healing in that point. So but then now I always go back and see what my intention is. Are you not posting on social media because um you're being a perfectionist? I'm like, oh no, I'm just like super focused on other things. So when you amplify your manifestations, like manifestation power so much and so fast, then you start like manifesting a little bit too much sometimes. And you're like, okay, now I have to like it's like it's programming. It's like, okay, now I have to tweak this and then put energy on this side. And it's okay that you are a little spread too thin right now. You're learning the lesson. You're learning what works best for you. And there's always um like if you're amplifying your manifestation so fast, you're what would you how I'm trying to make everything sound so simple without like using
Yeah.
using like the crazy woo woo words and things like that. um the thing, like, how about this? Make a friend, and the friend and you are the same. You guys like vibe together, and then all of a sudden you make so many big changes in your life, and that friend no longer resonates for you. So, or not resonates for you, but the energy has to change really quickly, like the dynamic between you and your friend, or it needs to fall away. Now imagine like you have 5, 10 friends at the same time, and then you amplify your energy to the point where you're manifesting even more aligned things, then now you have all these other things that need to be, or friends that need to be readjusted dynamics, the relationships need to be readjusted or they need to fall away. So like you're growing so quickly. So same thing with the manifestations. I hope that made sense.
It does. I recently had to go through something like that. So yeah, it does. It makes total sense.
Yeah. So same thing with the things that you're manifesting that don't have eyes and noses and hearts and stuff. Like it just looks like objects or experiences. It still needs to be fine-tuned. So
Sorry, Josie, I know you have something else to say, but I have to say, I am so happy. I'm not the only one that looks up and talks to the universe when something's coming in. I don't know how because this journey I've been on has been such a roller coaster. And I mean, I've had really ups and a lot of downs. And at one point, the universe kept sending me spiders. I had never seen so many spiders before in my life. And these are not little spiders. These are like big spiders that are like, oh my God, they're everywhere. I had seen like 20 within 2 weeks, and I normally wouldn't see 20 in like 5 years. They're everywhere. And I'm like, had to look up one day, okay, I get it. I'm creating something new. I understand. I thank you for that. I am so grateful you're allowing me to see that I'm creating something new, but can you please stop sending me spiders? It's really creeping me out. I don't want them on my house. I don't want them around. I really appreciate it, but please stop. And they stopped. Every once in a while I'll get a little one here and there, but they stopped. So it's like, thank you.
Feathers
Quit
now.
creeping
Can
me
you bring in
out.
the feathers?
Yeah. Feathers. I want the feathers. Those are
balloons,
less
cake.
creepy.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is kind of creepy.
That's, oh my God. Yeah, I would be like on my knees begging for it to stop.
After two, I would be like, okay, this is weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But yeah, that's, oh, now I'm thinking about spiders. But it's like you mentioned, we've had calls before and we were laughing on those calls because of like, and I'm sure, and we're doing that now as well. I'm sure anyone watching, maybe if you can relate, you're also laughing along with us because you can be so aware of your situation and what you're doing and what you need to do to change and still not want to do it because, and that's the funny thing because we all go through that, and it's just really getting over that kind of maybe it's a fear, maybe you don't want to change, you're not ready to change. But something else you said also reminded me, I did a little short reel the other day that is, if you want change, you need to change. And that can be really uncomfortable. And I know that we have all gone through that uncomfort and are going through that uncomfort, because if you're not uncomfortable in what you're doing, you're not growing, because growth lies outside your comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I love what you everything you guys are saying. Basically.
And it's just good to laugh about it sometimes. You're not making fun of yourself, and like sometimes I'm like, oh, social media is part of the job. You gotta take it seriously. I'm like, yeah. We're also gonna have fun with it, and we're gonna have fun with life. And I was always I reprogrammed, and people shy away from it when I bring it up. I always said it's like there's no problems. There's only solutions. And Chabaria probably said something very similar about that, like to stay solution focused. And I remember telling somebody, I'm like, oh, there is no problem here. They're like, yeah, there's a really big problem here. But I was like, when it's just because of the different perspective of what a problem is. But don't like beat yourself up about it. Just keep on focusing on change and manifesting really fun and miraculous things in your life, because it's possible. It doesn't have to be so gruesome, and you get used to the change. You're like that when you feel that icky feeling, like, ooh, this is something that needs to be recoded. Yeah, change is fun.
Yeah, definitely. You can learn to love change as well. Sorry,
You laugh
Misty,
at
did
it.
you? Yeah,
No.
Okay,
You're fine.
I just thought of this now, is because earlier you said you have like on your calendar, and I laughed when you said this because, again, like we're so similar. This is me as well. It looks like you're busy, and maybe sometimes you are, but like just everything has to be in the calendar, and I'm the same, and I know Misty is the same too. Like if it's out of sight, it is really out of mind. So, and I know we've been talking a lot about like the spiritual side, or Seb would say woo-woo side of kind of change and growth and intuition and manifestation and making things happen. But kind of there is also a very more, how do you say, serious, but for lack of a better word, serious side to it, and like a proper like planned out way side to it as well, if that makes any sense. So if you are one that struggles kind of posting on social media, remembering to do this, remembering to do this, put it in your calendar, because, and I'm sure we can all vouch right now, is if you are putting everything, as even if it's this, like this 15-minute slot, get ready to leave the house. I do that. Put everything in your calendar. It really does help. And I'll be interested on your guys's thoughts about this as well. Like, is there going too far with like structuring everything, or what do you think?
Yeah, for me, I had a friend that saw my calendar and they kind of made them feel bad that they weren't doing as much, right? It's not obvious because it's not written down. But I was like, look at your life. You're killing it. You're going to every appointment and it's not in the calendar. I feel it's like the difference of how people's minds work. And I like efficiency, and efficiency requires not using my brain too much. And if I write it down, then I have to be like, oh, what am I supposed to do today? So like when I put stuff in my calendar, I it's an intention that I'm setting. Like if I it's a value. So if I say I'm going to the gym at this time of the day, maybe I'll go later in the day because you have to flow. Maybe it doesn't happen exactly at that time, but this is a promise I made to myself. So it's not a to-do list necessarily, but something that it's every item is a value, not a to-do list. Like I have to change my mindset that way to make everything a little bit more enjoyable for the mind. And instead of saying commute, because LA commutes are, I have an
I've heard.
emoji
Scary.
it's just a car, it's just a car emoji. So just like
Oh,
that's fun. And if it says, like I say when I'm going to sleep, I just put stars, like little characters instead, because your mind doesn't need to see everything, because the mind doesn't like it comprehends like, oh man, I have to do this, oh man, I have to do that. So the gym one is just like the emoji where somebody's like trying to hold up the weight.
Yeah.
So I like little cute things like that because it reminds your mind this is where I need to go, but it's not written out as a to-do item. So it's just a more of a reminder. But it just depends on it depends, because you're talking about the woo-woo side, right? This like the serious side, but we have to also learn how to flow, which is actually something that I was learning now in being in architecture again, being flowy, but in the serious side.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Misty,
Yeah.
what about
Misty.
you?
I was trying to remember that quote from, I think it was Bruce Lee, that Master Sri Krishna says all the time, be like water and flow with the formless, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Master
And you don't want
the form and flow with the formless format, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But yeah.
So
I
I know
told Go
sorry.
ahead.
I know you
Go
have
ahead.
something else to say, but it really something that the amount of times I've changed
Oh, my
and
own hair.
like deleted and redone and changed my calendar and
Same.
had a new daily routine. I have a daily routine, a new one every week, because it's always changing. And something that I really had to get used to and be okay with is that not everything is gonna go like this. Your day is never going to go like this, and things will come up, and you have to be okay with that. So anyone else that's also like me, who something goes a little bit off and then the whole day is ruined, like
I used to be
definitely.
yeah. Yeah, because
Yeah.
especially when you're manifesting a lot of things and you're trying to you follow your intuition, you you can't say one and well you can, but like you can't say like I'm manifesting, but I'm also gonna have control issues. uh, but like just for others who are resonating with that, because that was totally me, and that's still me when my daily routine is different. So like for example, I would put deep work, like I'm like 3 hours. I don't know what I'm going to do in those 3 hours yet, but I'll figure it out in the morning, and I'll block it out, and then I'll add on top of it like three different things. I don't try to put too many things to do, because it's like it's borderline chasing sometimes, borderline control. Like I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. um but yeah, it's a when you're manifesting, it's also you have to flow, because the universe is taking you somewhere or bringing you somewhere, or trying to show you an easier way of doing something, which is something that I had to learn how to do. I keep on manifesting or using the word effortless, and like effortless and architecture they don't come together. And so it was nice to like just like, okay, I'm gonna universe, I'm gonna be like effortless today, and you're giving me all of this stuff. Like it, the universe is always just like getting in the way, trying to show me like, but there's an easy way, or there's an easier way, Christine. There's an easier way, and so it's like hard. You have to surrender a little bit, and it's just like okay, but then when you start to surrender more and more, you get used to like oh something's gonna happen if I don't do this, or something's gonna happen if I flow this way. And it actually is something actually big happens all the time. So I always say there's always a miracle. There's always a miracle every day. I see them all the time, and you can't schedule them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice that you can slow down and notice those, because a lot of people don't do that.
Mhm.
There's miracles happening all the time, and people manifest all the time, but they don't slow down enough to acknowledge it or really see it. So yeah, that's awesome. And now recently, Josie was telling me that you have an ebook and a course out. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? What is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I'd
So
love
I
to
have
know.
an ebook. I've been trying to figure out what it's supposed to be about. And it finally came to me. It came to me, and then it like I didn't know the nuances of how to do it. So I'm just like, I'll wait for the topics to come to me. But it's how to manifest in the workplace. And it was inspired by going back into architecture, and I people look at me funny. I went back to the same company that I worked for before, because I said if I'm ever going to work in architecture, it's going to be here, and I kept on saying it for years, and I manifested it. And it's my family, and if I'm going to use my cool manifestation, spiritual, psychic, all that stuff, not going to use it in some random architecture firm. I'm going to do it with my family. But my book was inspired by the people that were in my office, that were just they're kind of just like, why am I so flowing all the time, that I make to-do lists, but it's kind of like open-ended, or they're always in stress or anxiety, or trying to prove themselves. The other a day, the principal architect was trying to give me more things, more responsibility to set me up for promotion. And I was just like, so they're giving me all these projects. I'm like, I want to do this really fun project, this really awesome one. And I knew that this is going to set me up. This one project's going to set me up for life, not life, but like for my career again. And he was giving me all these other bigger projects, 500,000 square feet, 1 million square feet. But I'm like, I'm going to get this one only. And everyone's just like, why is she saying no to all these things? And then so there's there's like a control issues, or like the stress that we're taught to validate and to prioritize. So I wrote the book on how to manifest when you're in the workplace, because some people need a 9 to 5, or are still learning their industry in a 9 to 5, and not we all can't just quit and do passive income instantly. I wish everyone could, but for me, like architecture, I don't want to start my own company. That's not what I'm called to do, but I still want to do it but that means I have to go into the workplace again. And or spiritual people who are still we're all still on this journey, but who are always judging people for being unconscious, or always stressed out about being around unconscious souls, or not unconscious souls, unconscious people. And how do you navigate that world, and like get out of the suffering mindset, and make everything okay, just like make everything better. And so I wanted to write a book about that. And not just only the big miracles and the big quantum leaps, but the ones that you can make within your worlds now. And that's for some people that's enough. For some people that's where they need to start first to create a better foundation. And it's what I wish, not wish because I have no regrets, but would be nice to have before I took a leap of faith in my career.
Wow.
That sounds amazing.
Really awesome.
Thank you.
So did you base your course off of the book, or did you do something different with the course? Go a different route?
Oh yeah. The course is, I still have it. It's called the Highly Intuitive Tarot Reading Program. And I created it, and it was 80% tarot, like this is how you read it, but I didn't resonate for that. I just thought that's how you do it. And I changed it, and it was less and less and less about tarot and using tarot as a tool, to like, how can you not trust? How can you not surrender? How can you not flow if you're so powerful and magical? After 2 or 3 weeks of reading with me, again, my students, some of them start to embody the energies of the people that they're reading about. And sometimes I give them pseudonames because I don't want people to know about all my life and like search all these people on my Instagram, and they still get it right. And to see how powerful and magical you are, I heard healed a lot of my trauma in that way. But then I had to add manifestation into it, because after you learn how to follow your intuition, you're like, okay, now what? That was me for a whole year. I'm like, I'm so intuitive, I'm so magical, I'm so powerful, and this is all the things I'm going to manifest. Okay, how do I do that? It's easy to like for me, it was easy to manifest in a prescribed world in society. You go to school, you get a job, you get really good at that job, and then when you jump ship, you're like, okay, now there's all these possibilities, and I'm so magical now. Okay, how do you do it? How do you like wake up every day to do it? So I have an intuition and manifestation course combined. So it's everything we talked about today, and more. So
Wow.
so the book is a kind of starter course, to see all the cool things happening. Like, okay, now I want to do some bigger leaps than you take the manifestation course.
Oh, amazing.
Awesome.
Yay.
Ooh.
I love it. Yes, Josie.
Yeah.
Thank you for the
So-
appreciation.
Yeah, no,
So
thank you. I
just go ahead, Josie.
no, I was just before Vissy starts to wrap up, but this 45 minutes has gone so fast, by the way. I want to thank you for all your energy as well. I know you were just thanking me, but I was about to thank you, because like it's, yeah, you just have this such like a nice, like calming, kind energy, and I really would, anyone watching, definitely check Christine out. Instagrams and links for the ebook and everything will be in the description. Check her out, and yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much.
Thank you, Josie. I was going to ask about that worksheet, where people can find that. So the ebook and stuff. So we'll put that in the description. That'd be awesome. So
Thank
beautiful,
you.
ladies. I thank you both for being here so much. Do you guys have any closing statements you'd like to make before I wrap things up?
Yeah, no, I just want to say, anyone watching, if you are going to take one thing away from it, is just go for it. Trust yourself. Keep learning, keep growing, keep changing, keep getting uncomfortable, because that is where really you will grow. And at any time, we are here. The FLC family is here. You can reach out to Christine. And yeah, thank you.
Nice. Yeah. For me, I always got annoyed back in the day when people go, "Oh, don't take life too seriously." I'm like, "What? Do you know what all these important things are?" And da 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 da. But I just hope that through everyone's journey, you realize the that it is something that I want everyone to thrive towards, to um, have fun and play, not take things too seriously, take a break, rest, take care of yourself, enjoy your family. Yeah, and that's if to take away that this journey gets a lot more fun. There's a little icky parts, but then it gets fun towards not the and it's not towards the end. It's like right in the like really in the beginning. It gets from there.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Definitely.
life is a long journey and it's everything, if you're taking things too seriously, then you miss out on a lot of the fun. And if you're taking things too fun, then you really miss out on the power of being serious as well. So it's a
Mhm.
balance in there.
Yes.
And like I said, it is a journey. Just kind of enjoy it. Be self-aware
Mhm.
and be aware of what you're manifesting and what you want and what you're thinking, because you are such a powerful being, whether you know it or not, or have been able to hone in and really train yourself how to do it, how to manifest. You are a powerful manifester and you do it all the time.
Mhm.
And you just want to be self-aware. So what you are manifesting is really what you want and not what you don't want, because it will go either way. But with that being said, I thank you guys for tuning in to today's
So
episode
much.
of the FLC Hangout. Huh?
Oh, so thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. We so enjoyed having you here. It was awesome. So we hope you found our discussion informative and engaging. We also would like, if you enjoyed this episode, to consider subscribing to our channel. Leave us a comment with your thoughts and suggestions for future topics. We value your feedback and would love to hear from you. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and share this video with your friends and family who might find it helpful. We want to be able to help to get it out to as many people as possible to help other people reach their freedom lifestyle. So we'll be back with another episode on Sunday. So be sure to stay tuned, keep learning. And from all of us here at the FLC family, welcome to the family where once you're family for life. So we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.